Mike went to the cafeteria for the first time. A kind lady gave him a big portion, but before he could get excited, half of the vegetables were shaken off the spoon. At first he didn't think much of it. Maybe the lady just slipped, but when he ordered a second dish, she did the same thing again. Mike frowned. He knew she was doing it on purpose. He tried to ask for more, but the lady pretended not to hear him. In the end, she still didn't give him any extra. The students behind him saw everything. To avoid the same fate, one student had an idea. He sweetly called the lady big sister and asked for more, but to his surprise, she gave him even less than the person before him. He was angry, but he didn't want to offend the cafeteria lady, so he held back his anger and walked away. As soon as he sat down, other students were complaining too. Everyone felt cheated. Their parents paid good money for their meals, but the food was worse than pig slop. Even the vegetables were half the normal portion. What made it worse was that the discipline director checked every meal. Anyone caught wasting food would be punished. Mike saw the director walking toward them. He panicked. If the director saw they hadn't eaten anything, they would get yelled at. So they all started shoving food in their mouths. They got away with it for now, but they were only freshmen. If this food continued until graduation, they would probably be half dead by then. Just as they were accepting their fate, the teacher mentioned something the next day. That changed everything. The city education leaders were coming to inspect the school. The teacher gave everyone a survey. They could rate every teacher and write down suggestions for the school, including the cafeteria food. Mike suddenly got excited. He planned to write down every problem he saw. Meanwhile, because the leaders were coming, the school suddenly transformed. The broken fountain was turned on. The library opened its doors. Even the cafeteria food was completely different. But Mike couldn't enjoy the good food because he kept thinking about the survey. The opinion section was too small. He couldn't fit everything he wanted to say, so he took matters into his own hands. He added 8 extra pages and wrote down all the problems at school. His friend praised him because Mike wasn't just speaking for himself. He was speaking for all the students. But the teacher seemed to sense something. He threatened the class during break, trying to stop them from making trouble during the inspection. Mike didn't take the threat seriously. Then he noticed his deskmate's survey. She had given everyone an A and didn't write a single word in the opinion section. Mike asked Annie why. She said she didn't think there were any problems. She thought the teachers were all doing a good job. After hearing this, Mike started to doubt himself. Maybe he was going too far. This was about the school's reputation. If the leaders saw his complaints, it would make the school look bad no matter what. He almost gave up on the idea. But then the discipline director scolded him again after class, because during the inspection no one except PE class was allowed on the basketball court. The director told them to get back to class. That unfair scolding made Mike angry again. He handed in his survey. When the teacher found out, he was furious. He yelled at the whole class. He said he was very unhappy with what some students wrote. A few bad apples ruined the whole bunch. He probably knew who did it, but since the survey was anonymous, he couldn't point anyone out, so he made everyone fill out a new one. But this time they had to sign their names. Mike didn't give up. He just started planning his next move in his head.